Hello everyone, welcome to my new crash test of the BMW M3 Gran Turismo Racer from Need for Speed Most Wanted, which I made out of modeling clay with my own hands. You will see 5 collisions, 2 at the front, 2 at the rear, and 1 on the side of this BMW. To make the new crash test look and feel more epic, I made a big truck especially for this video. It will serve as an obstacle that this BMW will crash into. I made it out of cardboard, glue, modeling clay, and foil. I also made it very heavy, so it would be a massive obstacle and wouldn't fly away during a powerful collision with this BMW. The crash test was large scale because both models are made at 1/16 scale. This BMW is 28 centimeters long and this massive truck is a whole 37 centimeters. And this whole setup barely fits on my filming table. And thanks to such a large scale, we'll see more realistic damage to this plasticine BMW, which will look even cooler than what we've seen before. In 1/24 scale as it usually was. I spent a lot of time and effort on all this work. So, I hope you'll support this video with a like and by subscribing to my channel. But before I smash it in a couple of minutes, which took me a whole 2 months to build, first I'll show it to you in more detail. And you can watch the full and detailed creation process in a separate video that's already out, where I show the entire sculpting process from the very beginning to the fully finished model. I put a lot of effort into this car and worked on many details. It turned out to be an exact replica of the BMW from Need for Speed Most Wanted. The interior detailing is just like it was in the game, maybe even better. I tried to make every element so that it would look really cool and realistic. A lightweight interior, a roll cage, a sporty red seat, and other racing elements. And I also attached the sheet with that very blacklist. Now take a look at the engine. I managed to make some really cool detailing. It looks very cool and realistic, and this is exactly the kind of engine that was installed in these racing versions of BMW. Also, the paint job and the stripes on the body, I recreated them just like they were in the game. For this, I painted the model in several stages, repeating the exact stripes to create an indistinguishable copy. It wasn't easy. I made a lot of elements so that the crash, test, and damage would look realistic, and so that the damage itself would actually be possible. I made the body parts of this BMW thin, which helps the body deform, just like I've done before. And if you accelerate the plasticine car a lot and crash it into an obstacle, it will bend and get real damage, but in scale, since plasticine is a soft material and it allows you to create almost any shape. Now that I've shown you more and in detail about my work, we can start the crash test. I hope you fasten your seatbelts. Let's begin. This is how the bumper on the truck got damaged, and as we can see, it only has minor scratches and small dents, while the front part of the BMW is almost completely smashed. I deliberately sent the car straight down the middle to see how much it would bend. And the damage to the bumper and hood looks cool. The deformation of the parts looks natural and quite realistic. The hood bent just like it could in real life. It bent upward and even tore in the middle. The damage was in the center of the car. The BMW grille was badly destroyed, the bumper was crushed hard into the radiator, and the left headlight glass flew off. It turned out to be a cool imitation of a collision with a truck. This is what it would be like in Need for Speed if it had a realistic level of car damage. From above, you can clearly see how hard the BMW hit the truck's bumper and how the engine was damaged. And it took a really hard hit. Now let's do the second collision next. This time I did a straight direct collision into the truck's heavy bumper. And the damage looks as if the car crashed into a solid flat wall. This is how devastating the front part looks. It's painful to look at, it's all smashed up, but it looks really spectacular. We achieved realistic, natural looking body damage, all made from modeling clay, in my opinion. Even the door got a bit bent from such a collision, but the wheel stayed round and didn't get bent. There's a lot of deformation on various parts, like the bumper itself, as well as the hood and fenders. There are dents and cracks in the paint. And here are the damages the engine sustained. Here everything shifted even more and got jammed from such a powerful collision, and the fenders themselves were bent outwards quite a lot. Now let's perform a rear end collision with this BMW. These are the damages from the rear-end collision with this massive truck, and look at how many scratches and dents have already appeared on the bumper of this truck. Again, I tested the strength of the center of the car, and as we can see, the damage is very significant. The trunk is crumpled and bent down under the glass, and the spoiler, of course, flew off immediately from such a strong collision. The bumper also bent quite a lot. I like how it looks, it appears very natural and believable. There are a lot of cracks at the points where the modeling clay broke, which adds even more realism. Now let's do another rear end collision to make the back flat. Oh damn, it looks like I turned it into a hatchback. This is just insane, just look at how badly the rear end is crushed, it's smashed completely flat. That was an incredibly hard collision, nothing was left intact. All the parts are destroyed, the damage only reached the rear wheels, the deformation didn't go any further, apparently the rear end wasn't as strong as I thought. That's the interesting result of this collision. It looks like a simulation of a truck crash, as if it slammed into the back of this BMW at full speed. And now I want to simulate a side collision with a roadside pole, so I'll set up this simulated pole on this platform. That looked really epic. Because of the high speed, the BMW rammed into the poles and they couldn't withstand it. It looked impressive and real. The door was badly bent. The collision hit right in the center of the door. It even opened a little. You can clearly see the shape of the round pole imprinted on the door, and even the roof was bent at the point of impact. But of course, the main and primary impact was absorbed by the seal and the door itself. The damage even reached the seat, the door pressed it significantly. Considering that all of this is made out of modeling clay and done by hand, the result is excellent, such a cool and realistic deformation, especially for modeling clay. At such a large scale, the damage looks a bit more realistic compared to the 1/24 scale. This is how I usually do it, but of course it also takes much more time to create such large models. Of course, it also takes more sculpting material. It was an interesting experiment, and I'll think about whether I should keep making such big machines. And what do you think? Write about it in the comments. The machine is completely smashed and destroyed. We saw a very beautiful and realistic deformation of the car body at this scale, which was handmade from plasticine. The car is already starting to fall apart. This whole structure is barely holding together anymore because of the heavy collisions. Now I'll take it apart piece by piece, and you can watch how this BMW is built from the inside. Here I'll make a small announcement. The next clay model will be the Mazda RX-7 Hana from Fast & Furious Tokyo Drift. If you want to see this model and how it will look made out of clay, be sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss it. Thank you for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it and found it interesting to watch. I put a lot of effort into creating something this cool, and I would be very happy if you subscribe to my channel and like this video. See you at the next crash test. Bye all.